This year, I've gotten to have so many amazing pens inked up, but there have been a few ink and pen combinations that have just stood out as favorites. So let's look at my 6 favorite ink and pen combinations of the year. Sort of unsurprisingly, a big variety of brands, other than the fact that there are 2 Kawecos, which is not surprising. I have quite a large collection of Kaweco sports. But we've got a Pelikan, an Estie, a Benu, a Nahvalur, and then the 2 Kawecos. So these are roughly sorted by what their original nib sizes were. Some, like the Pelikan, have had nib work done to them, but we're gonna pretend like they've had no more nib work done to them and they're whatever the original nib size were. So let's get into looking at these colors. So to start us off, we have a Pelikan M205 Rose Quartz. I adore this pen. It's super cute. I have played around with a lot of pink inks in this pen this year, but I have finally settled on a pink ink for the pen for now. Currently, it has Ferris wheel press pink eraser in it, which I adore. So this is a Pelikan. M205. It was an extra fine, but now it is by Matthew Chen. It's quite a lovely nib now. I didn't love it as an extra fine, but it was also the Pelikan demo pen that Gary kindly gave to me. That being said, I do quite like this color of pink in it. I am very happy that I sort of finally found a pink that I do really like in this pen. Unfortunately, Ferris wheel press has discontinued this pink, so I'm gonna have to find a new pink for this pen. But for now, Rose Quartz and pink eraser are friends in this pen. I guess I should probably write the ink. This is and that is our first favorite of the year. I adore this pen. I adore this ink. And the combo of them together is just fantastic. Up next, we have a pen that I just adore. This pen has gotten its own video. This pen has been seen a whole bunch on this channel. This is the Estie Golden Gratitude Estie. I don't think this surprises anyone that this pen has made the list. I don't know that this pen will ever not be inked up in my collection. So this is the Estie Estie Golden Gratitude with a fine nib with Diamine. I can't spell. Sand Between Your Toes, which I adore. This is a Cult Pens exclusive ink. It is hard to get in Canada, but luckily someone on YouTube was getting rid of their bottle and they sent it to me. And I adore this color in this pen. I think it's just the perfect sort of goldeny color for this pen. It looks very dark in swabs versus how it looks in the nib, but it's just such a good color for that pen, and I love the combo. The next pen up is a Gold Spot exclusive. This is the Benu Hot Toddy. I've wanted a Benu for a very long time. This pen was actually, or this style of pen last year was in my 2023 pen recap video of a pen that I'd love to add to my collection in 2024, and so I was very grateful that Gold Spot sent me one. The Hot Toddy is just such a fun model. I love the gold flake in it. So This pen is eyedroppered with an ink from Ferris Wheel Press. It's a russet typecase. And this is definitely one of those pens that I absolutely adore. I didn't think I was going to like a Benu with a fine nib. I really love it. I never thought I was going to be an eyedropper person. I love this pen eyedroppered. And so this pen was full of surprises and I absolutely adore it. You will notice a theme with inks. They're very matchy-matchy. I'm very much a matchy-matchy person with inks. I don't always need to be matchy-matchy with inks, but there is just something about when an ink matches a pen that I really genuinely enjoy, and so my favorites this year are matchy-matchy. But I think all three of these are quite good matches that I've really enjoyed. If you've watched my channel for a while, this pen will not come as a surprise to you that this has ended up in this video. This pen has now been inked up for probably 14 months straight. It's been inked up constantly since October 2023 with the same ink. So this is a Kaweco Sport. I think you're running out of ink. This is one of those pens that I have never cleaned because it just keeps getting re-inked with the same ink. And so I don't see the point in cleaning it. So because it has gone the same ink for such a long time, it sort of just always has ink in it. But I'm going to bet that it probably needs to be re-inked soon. And to put it in perspective how much I love this ink has only been used in this pen, and I've probably used a third of this bottle just in a Kaweco Sport. And a Kaweco Sport is only a 0.5 mil cartridge, or converter. And so to go through that much ink, you have to be using the pen quite a lot. And it is definitely one of those pens that I reach for all the time and really enjoy getting to use. It's also the pen that made me realize how much I loved a medium nib. It was the smoothest medium nib I've ever picked up. To date, it is still one of the smoothest medium nibs I own, and I absolutely adore it. This is the Nahvalur Horizon in Glacier. I don't know what I can say about this pen other than the fact that I've had it for 6 months plus, and I don't think I've ever not had ink in it. I love it. It's a stunning pen, and it's one of those pens that I can hand over to any of my friends who aren't into fountain pens, and they instantly fall in love with it. And I sort of love having a pen like that inked up all the time. It's got a broad nib, it's got an ink window, it just looks so pretty, and it's so comfortable in the hand. The cap is potentially heavier than the pen, and so I don't post it, but it is one of those just stunning pens. The ink was actually an ink recommendation from Hemingway Jones. I was looking for a good dark blue, and it's one of his favorites. And I have to say he was totally right. This is the only blue ink that's ever gone. Actually, I think it's the only ink that's ever gone in this pen, and it's probably the only really, really dark blue ink that I'll ever buy again. There's just something about how it dries down. It's stunning. It shades really nicely in pretty much any pen I've tried it in. I have yet to put it in a stub nib, but I think it would look spectacular in a stub. And so it has made my list of favorite pen and ink combos for the year. Because honestly, it's just one of those pens and inks that I look at and I go, oh, you're so pretty. Like every time I pick it up to use it, I go, oh, I love getting to use you. So I think that definitely means that it deserved a spot on this list. And finally, we have the only pen that I have consistently had shimmer inks in for months. This pen always gets the same shimmer ink. It's always a gold shimmer. I bought it for a very sentimental reason, and it has now become sort of the birthday card pen. It always has a gold shimmer in it. It's a double broad nib. It looks spectacular for signing birthday cards and everything else. And it's just become one of those essential pens that I sort of just always toss in my bag because while it's not an expensive pen, it looks really nice when you write with it, and you just sometimes need a hint of sparkle on a project. And it has now sat for so long in the bottle that I think I need to shake it up again because this ink does settle out very quickly. Yeah, you can see it at the bottom. It is a stunning shade of gold though, and is definitely one of those inks that I use all the time for birthday cards and all those sort of like special things that you just want a hint of glitter on. So there we go. There are inks. Here are pens. Honestly, I think it's quite a fun selection that made my final list this year. I also think it's sort of fun that as much as I love the inks like Sailor Manios that have the crazy sheening, the inks that I kept coming back to this year were really much more basic. They were simple. They were things that work on any paper. One thing that I actually quite like about the Ferris Wheel Press inks is that I can use them on not as nice paper without them feathering. Same with the Montblanc inks, same with the Diamine inks. And so for the way that I tend to use my fountain pens, which is a mixture of nice fountain pen paper, but also like I need a pen that can write on a sticky note if that's what I've got in front of me. All the inks that I kept coming back to this year were inks that do work on sticky notes. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you had any inks and pen combos that you just kept coming back to this year. I'm both surprised and unsurprised with some that made my list. Like I knew that this and this were going to make my list, and that this probably was. The fact that all three of these, like when I was looking at the months of Inked Up, like these just kept making my list was sort of fun. The Benu Hot Toddy is a more recent addition, but seeing as based on how often I use it to write in my journal and my day planner, I felt like it could make this list. So I hope you enjoyed watching.